Okay, there, it should be recording. There we go. So thank you everyone for coming to today's meeting. Today we're going to be talking about a bit of logistics, I guess, for what exactly we're going to be trying to do this semester. I figure rather than be more fragmented and have a bunch of different things going on at once, I thought it'd be a better idea to have kind of one overall big project we're all working on, so that way we can have a more collaborative session and actually be able to have something really cool at the end of this semester that you can put on your resume. So with that out of the way, I think I'll just give a bit of a brief of what we were talking about last week, or not last week. Yeah, it was last week actually, a little bit more, 8 days ago. We were kind of talking about like a game we could potentially make that would be like web-based or something. But again, we're kind of open to nearly any idea here. That was just kind of like a very basic idea what we could come up with. And well, I think we should have a discussion here to talk about what we can do, or maybe we want to change the idea or whatever, kind of just get an idea of what we want to plan out for the semester. So I think before we get into that, I think it would be nice to have a quick roundtable of what our technical expertise or just experience for that matter is. So be as technical as you want, or you can not be too technical, you can be very technical, because we're really just trying to get an idea of what we can do when we decide on the project. I mean, obviously you could learn as well a lot of things, but I definitely think we should just see a bit of a lay of the land, especially since we have some new people that come up. So again, let me go first. I'm Jonathan Wang. I'm currently president of the FLC Programming Club, and my experience has been with a little bit of web development. I've done quite a bit with mobile application development, especially mobile applications connected to a cloud database. And I've done some other interesting stuff like with the shell and what else do I got? I've done some like JavaScript, Java, C++. I have a lot of breadth of languages and can do a little bit of full stack development. So that's me. Ishan, do you want to go next?
I'm Ishan. I'm the vice president. Most of my skills lie in mostly web programming, maybe mobile. I mostly know about JavaScript and some of the backend and front end frameworks like React and Express. But in general, I'm looking to learn anything new. Go with the flow of the team.
Okay, great. Why don't you go next, Weston?
Hey everyone. Expertise is probably going to be mostly on hardware side, so I've got plenty of experience messing around with any components and peripherals, and started branching out into server grade stuff. And as far as like setting up the little mini home from the Discord server last night, went out and got tables and grounded surge protectors and a 16-port switch, so we can start throwing together actual setups. And if we want to start cranking out code and stuff like that, we'll actually have a place to do it now.
Okay, going by the list, why don't you go next, Eric?
All right. Hey, I'm Eric. I'm new to the club. I know I've been introduced to web development, not really my thing, but I'm willing to learn pretty much anything that I can. I know Python and C++ pretty comfortable. I'd say somewhat comfortably, not to want to toot my own horn, but yeah, I'm willing to learn anything.
Great. Willingness to learn is really all you need to know for a lot of these things. Honestly, a lot of problems you have, you could just Google it, to be honest. So going next on the list, what about you, Jessica?
Hi, I'm new to the club as well. I don't have a lot of experience, but I've used this app called Mimo to like introduce me to like coding and stuff. I've just been doing that for a little bit when I can, but I'm willing to learn more.
Great. Have you, just out of curiosity, have you taken any CISP classes at Folsom Lake or any other Los Rios colleges?
No, this is my first semester.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I think a lot of it is it's gonna be kind of like a kind of whack learning in the beginning, but once you start getting your hands with some code, it definitely kind of you're able to better learn what you need to do, and then you can just look online for documentation and whatnot. And yeah,
Mhm.
definitely open to people of all experience levels. Learning is definitely a fun process to do with this. Let's see, who have I missed? The participants list keeps changing. Scout, why don't you talk about what experience you have?
I'm Scout. I've been in the club just a little bit last semester, but I've most of my experience is with game engines, like Unity. Uh, I've been taking computer science classes for a while, so I've also got like some decent basics. And then I also have messed around a bit with networking, which seems interesting to me.
Great, great. And I think the last one was Vishwak. Why don't you talk a bit about your experience?
Hey, I'm Vishwak. I'm also pretty new to programming. I guess I'm taking CSP 401. So that's object-oriented programming with Java. So I'm just trying to like understand more about the field so I can know where to like focus on. I'm more leaning towards like data science, machine learning.
Great, great. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a hot topic field right now. Everyone's trying to get their hands dirty with machine learning and see what they can crank out. So yeah, I think that was just great for us to kind of quickly introduce ourselves and talk about what we've done or maybe what we hope to do. So we kind of had an idea. We came up with a very bare bones idea last week. Does anyone have any preference for what kind of features? It doesn't have to be a game or just anything that you would want to work on, like any kind of technologies or any type of thing you would want to work on. Anyone can kind of just speak out. Like, what would you want to do in a project? And be as specific as possible if you can.
I'm not really partial to anything. I think pretty much anything I'm down with. I think machine learning would be cool though, if you can integrate that in some way.
I liked last week's idea of creating a game with JavaScript, and it can be extended possibly to include a database. And with database, you have data, so
Yeah, that would be
it
cool.
could be possible.
Okay, so we seem to pretty much be on board with what we came up with last week. I are you guys fine, or do you guys prefer a web-based, or do you prefer a more traditional type of game development environment? I know not everyone's experienced with it, but just kind of throwing it out to anyone. I know Scout is familiar with Unity, but how is everyone else thinking?
What do you mean by traditional game development environment? Like a game engine?
Yeah, game engine.
Oh.
Most time, a lot of people develop games on Unity or maybe Unreal. Those are usually like the go-to. But you could pretty much develop games on nearly anything. I've seen like Python games, web like through JavaScript games. You can't really make Flash games anymore, but those used to be popular in like the mid 2000s.
I personally, I'm trying to learn Godot, which is basically the open source version of Unity. If anyone knows what that is.
Godot was great. I tried that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I'm working on a game with Python using Pygate. So I haven't done web anything web really. So, but I'm again down for it. If anyone else wants to.
So I think we can pretty much go forward with our idea of like a web, maybe a web game would be kind of cool. Like it would just be made as like a website with some like the JavaScript code to anyone who's familiar with that. So I think the next thing we should come up with, we obviously don't have to have everything built out, but what kind of a game do we think we should make? Like just kind of throw anything. I know I'm not the greatest on the creative department, but just kind of try to see what everyone else is thinking. I know we worked on like a Unity game last semester. That was pretty cool. It was a bit difficult to do to work on it on different devices. At least it had problems for me. So kind of just worked through scouts, but anyone have like any ideas, like what they think the game should be, or like just what would you have with the game, or what kind of features or what examples do you have that'd be cool that you've seen in the past? We can start up pretty simple and build off of it.
I think I mentioned this last time, but it's very easy to just pick a game you like and kind of try to make it. Just find a simple game, just that you've played before.
I like capture the flag.
Oh, capture
Could
the
be an
flag.
interesting idea.
Would be interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Like maybe like a server, like okay, so we could have
Like for now, I just wanted bots, but later on we could like make it multiplayer. But
yeah.
bots are good
Okay,
for
so-
now.
Okay, so hear me out. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but you know what would be really cool with like a multiplayer game? You could have like bots mixed in with teammates, or you can have players
Yeah.
versus bots or something cool like that. We can incorporate like an AI into like the bots and yeah, something cool like that. Yeah, I think that'd be a pretty fun game. So when you're saying capture the flag, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with first person stuff. Are we thinking like a third person?
Yeah.
Like not like a Fortnite
Good
type thing,
question.
like maybe like an eagle eye view. Like I can't think of a good example. Let me see if I can bring
Like,
some.
If you
League of
want to do
Legends
it
type
on
view.
web, it would probably be best to do it 2D in some
Yeah.
way.
Hold on, let me- when I say
League of
like
Legends is
view, I mean
essentially
like, do you guys know the world's hardest game?
Yeah, like top down.
Um, Yeah, sorry, yeah, top down eagle, like none of these, like this one, you like, well, I don't want to right now. So you like the red thing is like this right here. You move the player and you can like use your arrow keys, like move around. You don't want to get hit by this. You want to get these coins, like something like that. Top down, eagle view, eye view, that type of thing.
Yeah, top down's pretty easy.
What do you guys think about something like that? Just out of curiosity. Unless, if you guys prefer like something more detailed or a specific way, just feel free to say it out. Like would be a great start, just basic obstacle CTF. Okay, out of curiosity, Webson, when you say obstacles, because I play games like, you mean like you have to go around it, or if you touch it, you die, kind of a thing?
Yeah, probably a little bit of both. Like have basically do like a mirror map. So one person starts on one side, one person starts on the other, and they both have the same course to go through.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's kind of a race to the end, but they have both, twists and turns, but also, obstacles that'll set them back to either a checkpoint or the start or something. And then I was just thinking like a multiplayer aspect could be the extra people on the team. Their job is to do something that gives like some kind of power up to the person in the race.
So kind of like Hunger Games.
I guess so.
You're
Yeah.
talking about like a competitive platformer? So that sort of deal, but with capture the flag mixed in there somewhere.
Yeah, basically. So like person A and B are going to be actually like doing the actual capture the flag action, but then the other teammates are either doing some mini game or have to do some like search game or something like that. And when they get that, then it either gives them a speed up or slows down the other person or whatever.
So mini game could be like healing or like doing some like
Yeah, exactly.
calculation or like
That'd be kind of.
puzzles.
I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with WarioWare.
Yeah.
but it's-
I know what you're talking about. Like the game.
Yeah,
game-
so you do. So for any of those who don't know, it's just a bunch of fast-paced mini games where you have like 3 seconds to do it, and then you have to keep doing as many as you can. It gets faster and faster. So like your teammate could do those, and if they succeed, then you get like a buff or debuff for the other person or something like that.
Right.
They're like really fast and quick mini games. I mean,
We could have
what?
shooting capture the flag, I guess. Someone like shooting games, but like, in general, we could start off with capture the flag, the very basic.
So are we thinking it'd be like a platformer capture the flag or like a top-down one?
I was
Because
thinking top down because
Their method
platformer,
is
you're
cool, but
limited.
it would only work with platformer, I think.
wait, what would only work with platformer?
The like race thing.
The wrist?
Race.
Racing.
Oh, race. I think we should definitely keep
Platform
track
would
of what we
work.
have. I think we should write down a couple ideas.
Yeah.
So, Ishan, just out of curiosity, do you know, like, I remember everyone in my school, high school, used to play this when I was at, like, when I was there. Do you know Surviv.io?
No.
Yeah,
There are
I
a
was
ton of IO
thinking that,
games.
like, when you said top down, I was like, oh, maybe something like Surviv.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I
I was
remember.
thinking Surviv too. I mean, I only played
Because
it
like,
once.
the same
yeah, like the characters could like on like a 2D plane just like pick up like a flag icon maybe like
Yeah,
something like that, and then have to get past like a certain point and then they get a point or something like that.
yeah. So Surviv is like it's like I don't think all of it was battle royale. I haven't played this game in years, but it's basically like a top-down shooter game. You kind of just go with your friends and you shoot the other team, or like in the battle royale, you just try to survive. And you get like guns and stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking something like Surviv.
Yeah, I
I
think
forgot what it was called.
the one you played was probably very similar to this because there was a bunch of proxy sites they use, so that way people at school could go to it. Yeah, the school really didn't like that game. I like shooting games. Lol, is that appropriate? Yeah, I mean, as long as we're not doing anything like violent just to be violent, I don't think it's bad. Like if you do something like Doom, maybe not the greatest thing for a school club to do, but it seems to be pushing the limits if you do something like that.
I mean, you could do something like, paintball. So it's like, not
Yeah, yeah.
violent.
Yeah, that definitely make it on the more appropriate side. Don't want to cross a line.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that sounds like a pretty good idea. So it sounds like we're thinking of a like a Surviv like top-down paintball shooter capture the flag type of game. Capture the flag. Okay, thank you.
I'm
Puzzles.
taking notes.
What? Oh,
I'm
thanks.
taking notes.
Wild animals to attack.
Yeah. That could be our AI or something. I don't know. But I'd like to start with capture the flag and then
Yeah, I
build up.
think capture the flag is, but I still think we need to agree on what type of perspective we're doing, because changing that isn't terribly easy. So we thinking mostly like a top-down one?
Yeah, I was thinking top down like Surviv.
Yeah, top down's easier.
Could you even, I mean, what other perspective could you realistically have? I don't know.
Platformer.
I mean, you could have like a Mario perspective.
Oh, so you want, okay, I see what you're saying.
And you could have that, or it could just be like the top-down. That's really the only really good options I can think of, unless someone else can come up with something else. I'm not too great. I don't play too many games nowadays, but that's all I know. I mean, you could try first person, but that sounds kind of difficult.
Yeah. You can't really solve puzzles in top down. But in like 2D you can.
Pac-Man sounds, Pac-Man is kind of a weird one. It's not a, at least perspective wise, it doesn't look too top down, but it kind of is at the same time. Like you see Pac-Man on the side, like this. I guess I just call that top down. So I think we all seem to be in agreement with kind of a top down Surviv style one.
Sounds good.
Okay, great.
Could we somehow like incorporate machine learning within like the enemies, like
Yeah.
yes,
So
have like
what we're thinking so far, we have a couple ideas with it, but we could have, this part would probably be more complicated, but we could have a bot. But I think the wild animals idea, or enemies, or maybe even something simple, just like a turret or something, we can use to deter both sides. I'll just attack anyone. Like if we can have these other NPCs that will attack you, and we can make them as complicated as really we could. I'm always kind of confused, like with the machine learning AI, because I know machine learning is a technique and it would just be an AI, but I think we could definitely incorporate that. But I think we should probably get just the base game down first with just the basic mechanics, and then we can kind of add a bunch of cool stuff. And we can kind of handle all this implementation with like Git, but I'll definitely get into that a tad bit later. So We all on board with the idea. The more animals you take out, the more they try to take you out. Lol. Oh God.
Yeah.
So we definitely seem to be on board with at least the base of the idea. We can kind of change things as long as we don't change the basic premise of, you know, top down. We could honestly even make different game modes, but that would probably take a
Yeah.
long time. So I think we have most of that down. I think what we could look for next is maybe frameworks. I've actually seen some before.
Yeah, I don't know too much about
Yeah,
game
actually,
frameworks.
yeah, with like some of the design hub stuff, I've actually heard of some mention, so I can actually pull some stuff up.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
'Cause, I mean, a lot of them are very similar. It's just some of them have more like community support, and obviously they're slightly different, but they're old JavaScript.
Like I like the ones with the most documentation, or like
Yes, documentation is so important. I don't know
most
how to-
tutorials and documentation.
Yeah, a lot of the ones I saw were pretty well documented, but some are there's some slight differences between them. So just out of curiosity, who here knows JavaScript? I know Ishan and I do, but what about everyone else? Who knows it and who doesn't?
I don't know that much, but I've used a little bit of it.
Same here. I, you know,
How's Python?
run a little bit with you know, Discord side of things. So that's about it.
We should do Python instead, because Vishwak might want to do Python. And it's
Yeah,
similar.
I think Python would be good with me. I think Java or C++, if that's possible. I don't know. Like, would that be?
I think we're definitely can be open to languages. Usually with a lot of these web stuff, I don't know not much, but I get a whole languages fast. Okay. Language wise, most of these aren't very difficult. If you've learned at least one language, and then it usually isn't too bad. And if you haven't learned a language yet, I mean, I started with JavaScript. It wasn't too bad because a lot of languages are very similar. The only one that is like kind of wacky is, in my opinion, C++, because you got to do some kind of weird things sometimes. But a lot of the high level programming languages are very similar. And honestly, which one you learn really doesn't matter. I guess there could be an argument that Python is the easiest one to learn, but I never learned that one first, so I can't really speak to it. If you have good grasp of logic, definitely yes, Weston. So I think what we can do is we can kind of research some frameworks ourselves, like look up game frameworks. I know a couple we can look at, and I can actually show you guys really quick. But I think a lot of it is, I think we should try to find something and we all agree on it and we will use it for the project. We already kind of have the basic idea down. I think we should start with kind of figuring out what tools we want to use for it. Now, if anyone's interested or not, would you guys prefer to just, in order to get familiar with whatever language we do or framework we end up picking, you guys rather just hit the ground running with it and just start using the language within the framework? The framework is kind of like how, it's kind of like packages you would use in like JavaScript, because we probably wouldn't be using a base or vanilla. It would have some like its own functionality and stuff. So that's what all I mean when I say framework, if in case no one knows what that is. It's kind of just using the language of some of the specialized tools for this like web game development. Would you guys prefer just kind of learning the basics of like JavaScript or Python or whatever first, or kind of just hitting the language within the when we start working on the game? I could do either or, but just kind of wondering what everyone else would like to do. Build the plane as we fly it, lol. You guys down for that? Or, I mean,
Yeah, sounds fine.
Yeah, I'm down.
okay, great.
Sounds good.
Yeah. What? Wait, what was the last so who just said something? I couldn't hear it.
I just said sounds good.
Okay, great. So let me pull that up.
Is there any girls in this club besides me?
Let me see. There was before, but they're not here right now.
We had a bunch back in 2020 when we were offline, but I was not there.
I know one. She couldn't come for the meeting today. But she's in the club.
Yeah, there are some people just couldn't make it or didn't get the message in time. So don't worry about it like being only boys. I know there are some other girls, they just didn't happen to show up.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I guess a bit of a checklist. I'm trying to pull my thing up. Yeah, there's contra.js, impact.js, phaser. Okay, so I think what we should all do is, like I said before, we should all try to find some kind of framework of some kind, or just really any kind of thing we can use to build. I mean, I could honestly just pick any old one, but I think we should try to kind of pick one we all kind of agree with. Some ones that I've heard of are, let me put them in the chat. I'll do some research myself. Impact.js, P5.js. And it, like I said, it doesn't have to be the JavaScript ones. I just happen to know a lot of JavaScript ones. I know these we have in the chat. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah, the next thing. So we can definitely do this as we prepare for like our next meeting. We can kind of present what we have and start getting maybe a setup or something with it and kind of figure out what we want to actually use for this project. The next thing is, who here is familiar with Git? I know there's definitely a bit of a learning curve with that, and not many people know it, but who here does know Git?
I do, but like instead of branches, we should do forks.
So out of curiosity, why use forks rather than branches?
Yeah, so I was playing around with forks, right? And it's essentially like creating your own copy of the project.
Yeah, I
And
know.
you just do like instead of having to do like the switching of branches and stuff, you just like commit your branches, your forks code, and then the administrators of the GitHub will just accept your pull request. And that's pretty much like using branches.
Yeah, I know there's always like this great divide with Git people, whether they want to use like the fork method or the branch method. So I was just kind of curious what your opinion on why they use it.
Yeah, I learned about it like last week mostly. Like I played around with it and it seemed easier.
Yeah, I think we can definitely like use specific Git methods, but just going back to the base question, who here has used or doesn't really or has an understanding of Git? If you don't, it's really not a problem. Honestly, I didn't really know Git until maybe like a couple months ago, to be honest with you, when I really started using it. But if you don't, you can just say so. It's all good. Have set up, but haven't spent much time. Just went through the tutorial. And that's
Nope, I don't know what that is.
yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, some people use it, but it's kind of weird is all I'm gonna say. It's basically just to those who don't know, it's just a version control management system. Because when you work on projects with multiple people, it's a bit hard, like, oh, I wrote this code and oh, but you wrote that code that's different. It helps you be able to manage it and also helps people be able to work on code on their own time without it messing with like the overall project. It's very useful with that for pretty much any group project. So I think we should use that, but I can definitely PubNub seems to be a popular networking thing for JS. Okay, so familiar enough with PR and forking.
Pull request.
Oh, pull
and
request.
forking.
And forking and concept is good, but this will be good experience for it. Lol. Yeah. So what we can do is we can definitely have like a quick session to kind of introduce Git. I know I already have a video for that, but that one's like specifically for the Design Hub, and I'll probably just do like another example, especially for the context of our project. So if you don't know Git, don't worry. I mean, I'm not like a Git master by any means. I just know how to use Git for projects and whatnot. And I think it would definitely help us if we use it for our projects. That way we can all work on code at our own time, own pace, and then be able to have it work together in our ultimate project. One of the things that I've done with Git before, just for context, is you have like a base project and each person works on their new feature that are sometimes independent, sometimes dependent on multiple things. And you just put it together. And then once everyone puts in with the work they've done, you got like a really cool bunch of features added to the project. So that's kind of how I've used Git. I mean, it would also work with forks. We just have like each person had their own branch or fork, and you can then all put it together. So that's just some of like the, I guess, quick and dirty logistics of what kinds of things I figure we'll be working with. again, with the framework / the language. Doesn't have to be JavaScript, it could be Python. Honestly, it could be Java or C or C++, but I don't really know too much game development on the C and C++ side, to be honest with you. Let's see what else is there. I'll definitely get back to you guys on Git. Maybe we can have like a Git session or something like that. Just really quick tutorial on how to use it. And if anyone has any questions on it, or honestly just questions about anything we're doing in general, feel free to ask away. This is a safe environment and we're open to people of all skill levels. So don't be afraid about like anyone saying like, oh, that's a dumb question or you're dumb. Or yeah, we're not like that here. We're definitely an open environment. So does everyone kind of have a good idea of like what we're kind of going forward with and what we should all look for this week or anytime soon before we meet again? This session I'm going over Git basics. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that probably. So if you can just kind of look into a little bit about like website, game development, post anything you can find in the, let's see, what chat. Let me make like my own channel for that. Let me just make like my, I'll just add a channel to general. I'll just call it. Really no permission set up on that. Hello. Okay, there. If you got anything, just post it in the project channel. Oh, actually, never mind. Yeah, of course, everyone's on Discord. That was the only way to access it. Hey, Weston. So yeah, just post anything you can find on like website game development on the channel I just made. And I think we can come together next week to kind of discuss what we want to use, what languages, what technologies. We'll probably have like a separate session to talk about Git so we can handle the management control. And then I think we can start hitting the ground running with this project and we'll see what we can do. So does that make sense, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So just a reminder, we always have these meetings on Saturday, 4 p.m. We may have some extra meetings, although probably not too often. And that's kind of where we're going with the club. As for some other, I guess, housekeeping stuff, I'm going to try to recharter the club. We didn't do that last semester. And also to have the officer election. So if anyone's interested in becoming a club officer, we have the roles. Let me put them in the chat. We have president, vice president, CABE rep. CABE rep really isn't going to be doing too much this semester because the clubs and events board, which what CABE stands for, isn't actually a current board on associated students for FLC right now. But as part of Student Senate, we're trying to get that back up. And we have what was the other role? I forget off the top of my head. Treasurer, yeah, that's right. So if anyone's interested, and I definitely encourage people to run for an officer role, then just feel free to DM me. My Discord is hashtag 4827. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. So I'll have, once we get people to have enough, at least one person running for each position, although I would encourage more than one person if possible, then we'll have the form set up and then I will do some of the dirty stuff like having to like clean up and actually recharter the club. And as for the next thing I was going to say, I'm thinking of cleaning up the Discord. I have a little bit of experience with like moderating Discords, not the greatest with organization and like using all the stuff in bots. So does anyone happen to be good at doing that? Because we have like a lot of channels. Who said that?
I'm really good at staying organized.
Great. Do you have experience setting up Discord servers?
Yeah.
Great. I think we could use you. So wait, can you just ping me in like the Discord? I don't know who you are. Great. Okay, I see you. Yeah, I'll make a role for you to help set it up. captured. Okay, thanks for posting that too, Ishan. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
took
thank
some
you for
meeting
offering.
notes.
Thanks. So yeah, thanks again for being willing to do that. I'm personally not the greatest with organization, and some of these things we've had for like, gosh, a long time since like I think we had some stuff up from 2018, 2019, something like that. That was a pretty long time ago, but yeah, I think just some stuff we should do. Let me actually put this in the chat. I'll put some of the club stuff as well for game project. We have research and post anything. Website. It could be /language. And also, what else is there? And I'll handle Git on my end if you can. Maybe
Okay.
look into.
I think I gotta head out, but if you want my help testing something like Git, I'm basically always online.
Great.
I can help you out, but
Okay.
I think I gotta go.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys in the next
See you.
meeting.
See you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think I also need to leave right now.
Okay.
but-
Just a quick question. Is this time good for everyone?
Yeah, this works well for me.
Okay. Great. So
It's
yeah.
perfectly after the time I wake up after work, so it works out well for me.
Great. Okay. So let me just put these things in the
All
chat.
right, I'll just see you guys next week then.
Yeah. See you next
See
week,
ya.
4 p.m.
All right.
Yeah. Good time here too. Okay. And as for club stuff, just recharter the club and fill officer positions. And I think that's all we really should do for this first week. Nothing too crazy. I'll set up your role, Jessica, and
Mhm.
I think we can get started on some of the technologies and tools we want to use for this project. It's mostly just going to be like setting things up, getting the basic functionality to work, like being able to move and stuff. And then we'll eventually start adding some really cool stuff where we could use a database to store a bunch of, I don't know, maybe like maps or something, and we can have some AI that can control like the bots or something. So I think we're definitely on a good pace here to do web dev announcements. Yeah, I have that there as well. Ishan, if anyone needs to know how to do like,
But yeah, I was deleting channels. So I just shifted. That was the only message in the web dev meeting. So I just shifted that.
okay, great.
Yeah.
So I think that was all I had. Anyone want to add anything before we close out today's meeting?
Nope.
Ishan? Wait, what'd you say? I couldn't hear it.
I'm good.
Okay, Jessica, anything?
I think we're all good.
Okay, Eric?
I'm all good here.
Okay, Weston? Yeah, good time here.
Yeah, basically just if anybody is interested in trying to set up study halls in place, let me know, because I know that everything else is basically closed right now. This is coffee and snacks and internet.
Great. So yeah, it's awesome seeing everyone here. And in case anyone wasn't able to make this meeting, I'll post this meeting recording. I'll be recording meetings from here on. Just put it on the YouTube, and I'll post a link on probably on like the club meetings or something, just so anyone can kind of catch up on what we've been doing. We're definitely open to any other members joining in and participating in this project. I know not everyone could make it, but it's really exciting to see what we can do this semester, and hope you guys have a great extended weekend.
You as well.
See you guys
Good
later. Nice
weekend.
meeting you all.
Yeah, have a good one, everybody.
Have a good one.
Bye.